Well, hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I am Susan, I'm your hostess, and today we're going to be making a salt-free Italian seasoning. This recipe came from OregonDietitian.com. I will put a link in the description box to the website, and it is a really good Italian seasoning, and I'm going to be using it in a shaker, a salt shaker. Now I look for the ones that have the bigger holes in it, and these are all secondhand shakers that I have. I've already done up my label to put on my bottle, and it's really an easy recipe. It's only got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only got 5 herbs. 5. So this is a really good, easy recipe to do. And I buy all my herbs in bulk. I buy them from an either the Amish community, I grow them myself, or I pick them up at the Mennonite store that is not too far from our home. Now normally I double or triple or quadruple the recipes. This time I'm just going to make a straight recipe because I still have some of this on my pantry shelf from a previous making of this. I'm going to start with oregano as the base, and I need 3 tablespoons of oregano. You may want to write down the recipe because I will not leave it in the description. So that's 3 tablespoons of oregano, and I reuse my jars, these big jars, they come in handy. The next one is marjoram. If you don't have marjoram, it's okay. You can leave it out. Marjoram is very akin to oregano. It's got a slightly different flavor, but it is akin to oregano. Then that was 1 tablespoon of marjoram. And now I need 2 tablespoons of thyme, and this is regular thyme, the leaves. And if you don't want to do this and blend it up to put in a salt shaker, you can just easily put this on your shelf. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of dried basil. I have sweet basil, so that's what I'm going to use. And I had 1 escape, so I'm going to throw it in there. And 1 tablespoon of sage. Now this is a rubbed sage. This is from the Amish community. And so I'm going to use about a tablespoon of that. I'm going to kind of press it down in there to make sure it is right at a tablespoon. So that is all of my ingredients. We're going to get the lid on this. You can see they all pretty much are the same color. We're going to get this into my NutriBullet, and we're going to get it plugged in and I'm ready to go. So I've got my NutriBullet out. Turn it around so you can see the name on it. It's a NutriBullet. And I'm just going to pulse this a few times to get it ground up fine. You want it fine because you want it to be able to go through the holes of your shaker, and I still have a few flakes in there, so I'm going to go ahead and grind it some more. And it's still got a couple of flakes in there. Now, if you're just going to use this on your pantry shelf, you don't have to do this step. You don't have to grind it. You can use it in the flake form. That's perfectly okay. I use it that way when I cook with it. And I'm going to get this into my salt shaker, but I'm going to allow this to sit for a minute or two to make sure all that dust is settled before I open this canister up. Okay, I've got a wide funnel. It just makes it easier to get it into the shaker. And we're going to spoon this over. Into our shaker. And I'm probably only going to need a couple of tablespoons in this shaker. And then the rest of it I will store with my herbs. Tap it down just a little bit because I don't want it to go everywhere. And I filled my shaker up. And I've got a few little things on my chest, but there it is in the shaker. It kind of looks like pepper in there, so we want to make sure that we label this. And I like having no salt seasonings on my table in case I want something a little different flavor. So there's my label on there, and that will go in my caddy that I have picked up. And I'm going to get this put into a little jar. I already labeled my jar. I'm using an old pimento, diced pimento jar. They work really good for seasonings. And I'm just going to get this spooned over into the jar. This makes approximately 1/2 cup or 8 tablespoons when it's the whole. And I need a little bit of a funnel here maybe to get this last little bit in there. So I'm holding the funnel because the funnel mouth is the same size as my jar. And I'm just going to go ahead and get the rest of that into that jar that I'm going to store in. So now I have the ground seasoning that I can also use to refill my shaker. Really easy recipe, 5 ingredients. You don't have to have the marjoram to make it. I've made it without the marjoram. It's just as good. It's got a great flavor to it. That's what the seasoning looks like when it's ground. I'm going to give you a little bit of a taste test. I've wet my finger. I did not lick it. Just a little bit on my finger. Very, very good Italian seasoning, y'all. You will like this. And if you don't want to use the marjoram, you don't have to. That cuts down on the ingredients. You can increase with oregano or the basil, either one, if you leave it out, or you can just omit it. Very good. Very tasty. Thank you, my friends, for watching. I hope that you will try this really great table seasoning on your table and see if you like it in place of salt. For those that have a salt-free diet, this is a perfect example of a spice mix that you can make at home that's really tasty, will give a lot of flavor to your foods, and you can use it straight off the table or you can cook with it. Thank you for watching. God bless.